Could you just clarify a little bit? Because if you say INEC can disregard the laws made by the National Assembly on how to conduct elections?
Yes. If the law, we call it the doctrine of repugnancy. If a law is inconsistent with the Constitution, and the Constitution invests on a particular body the power to do something, by the doctrine of repugnancy, that law can be disregarded.
But in this case, there hasn't been any precedent on that or any example.
There are lots of examples of an invalid law.
No,
well, not with the current situation. INEC has been very generous, accommodating all sorts of interests, and it shows a responsible organization, really.
But do they have a choice? They are the umpire. They're supposed to accommodate all those views.
But they are not political umpires, they are electoral umpires. There's such a fierce attack on them from a political perspective. You attack the personnel of INEC, you attack the processes of INEC, you attack, people are almost attacking the wives of INEC resident commissioners. For what reason? These are people that are, I don't even understand.
You know, you say that we should, I remember your opening statement that politicians should stop overheating the politics. We can conduct simple, those are your words.
Yes.
And anyone will tell you that in Nigeria, elections are not simple.
Yes.
They're a little complicated because of our different sensitivities.
Yes.
Because of the, will I say, ethnic coloration it was saying, we brought it into politics as well. And so if one area is getting more cards than the other, there are questions. If one group of people are getting more cards than another group of people, there are questions. When INEC says that they are ready for elections and some people have not gotten, or majority of people, or let me say, come see, come star, 50-50, some people have not gotten their cards. There are questions, and this is what INEC says. Would you say that INEC itself had not set itself up to be shot in the foot? In the sense that if, as an organization, it said it was ready by February 14, and what we're beginning to see now, we're wondering, it's supposed to aid the elections, we're wondering, it shows that you're still getting ready for this particular elections. It's supposed to make the elections better. People wonder what the polls would have looked like, assuming they were conducted on February 14.
Election is won on valid votes cast against valid positive votes cast against negative votes. A man is elected by negative votes as well as positive votes, not by positive votes. In other words, you have to count the positive as against the negative. Now, if we had conducted the election on February 14, a winner will still have had to be counted from the positive votes. It is, of course, true that a number of people didn't get their cards. But the truth of the matter is also, since February 4th, there have been grievous agitation, compelling. People were lackadaisical. That is almost universal. I mean, the level of interest in election is diminishing.
The thing about it is that, yes, you have people who, maybe because they've moved locations and then they missed the timeline for which they can transfer their data from where they were to where they are or where they plan to be. That's a given, guaranteed. But you also have those who have gone there literally several times that don't have it. So we don't have that statistics from INEC saying, well, these are those who have gone there and genuinely want, but we have not been able to give them, as opposed to those who have missed all the official lines spelled out in the electoral act for which they can pick it up. So
I do
how do we then come up with that conclusion?
I do agree, but my point is the percentage of those who have gone there who are not able to find their car is exceedingly low. It's very low.
How can we assume that? Because even if we say, INEC has not been able to tell us, for instance, how many people, they're not taking note of how many people have gone to those polling units to say.
Well, I can tell you because I'm involved.
I can tell you also about, entire wards that do not have cards, at least here in Lagos.
As at what time?
As at today, as I speak with you currently, there are some wards that do not have PVCs have been, you know, they say your cards are ready, but for some reason you can't pick them up now. You know, the excuses like that. Can I actually say then that as at that time it was ready when you say that, you know, certain areas will be disenfranchised?
Again, now, if the position is that the cards are ready but you cannot pick them, then the cards are ready, the cards are available. Definitely, the cards will have to be given to the ward before election. If the cards are ready and they cannot pick them, there may be one reason or the other. Why? It may be, for example, for security reasons. It may be because of some kind of problems, okay? But what I'm saying is that the number of, comparatively, the number of people who went to units to pick their cards, who weren't able to find cards, is exceedingly limited. The number of people who simply refuse to go and pick cards are quite a number of people for one reason or the other.
Very true.
I have gone to some of these card stations and I find lots of cards.
What do we need to start? What do we need to start violence on election day, for instance? How many people does it take to start electoral violence? If some people come to that point and say, we don't have our cards and elections will not hold here, how many of them do they have to be for the thing to get violent?
INEC has a responsibility to ensure that everybody who is entitled to vote is given a PVC to vote. INEC has made a commitment it will achieve this. INEC says you come, you say, look, your card will still be printed. It takes you, it listens to you, it takes note, it assures you it's going to get you your card. Yes, fine, you have gone through some stress, but we are going through a period of testing on a new system. A nation must be patient enough. It's the same problem we have with traffic. It took me 15 minutes between the bridge and turning to your something here this morning. Now, if it were, for example, in Europe, you line up. I have seen go slow in America, in New York, in Philadelphia, everywhere. They stand there gradually, everything in order. But in our system, we live by convenience. And when people live by convenience, they become ungovernable. That's the truth of the matter. What I'm in essence telling you is that problems will arise in human affairs. So how do you deal with the problem? You work to resolve the problem instead of work to complicate the problem. Politicians are making life almost impossible. INEC will have to be, we go to this, we explain, we go to the national, we are summoning INEC today, we do this and do this. An organization that needs to concentrate on ensuring election among nearly 100 million adult citizens.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Dr. Tunji Abayomi. He's a legal practitioner giving his perspective on INEC's mock accreditation and by extension, our preparations for the elections. Thank you again for coming on today.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this break. Join us again.